Hello, this video will walk through important aspects of making your application work for you and maximize the chances of admission. Please note that what follows are general recommendations and examples, and it is always suggested that students see a guidance counselor if their case requires closer attention. So here are some general strategies that should be utilized with all types of application, be they single choice or two choice. Apply to multiple schools. We recommend that students apply to at least 2 schools. Applicants and parents often say that they want to try applying to a competitive program but do not have the required courses. This will result in an automatic refusal, so be sure to check the requirements to each program selection before you apply. These days, Francophone CEGEPs tend to have more space because there are more of them. So consider applying to Francophone CEGEPs if French is your first language, if you're in enriched French, or if you find an interesting program that only exists in French. Next, good rules of thumb to keep in mind. An average of 75% overall and passing all secondary 4 and 5 required courses is strongly recommended. If your profile looks different from this, you may need to develop an alternative plan. See your guidance counselor for more information. So here are some specific strategies that should be utilized with applications that take into account 2 choices of program. Applicants are asked to select 2 choices of program for Dawson, Champlain-St. Lambert, and Marianopolis. At Dawson, applicants' second choice programs are only considered if they are refused from their first choice after all first choice program selections are made. This means that there are few spots left for second choice selections. So you want to be strategic about that second choice. At Champlain, applicants' 2 choices are considered at the same time. The admissions team tries to find a place for students when they're not able to accept them into their first choice due to slightly lower marks or insufficient space. Now on to some guidelines for 2-choice CEGEPs. In general, it's not a good idea to select a second choice option that has higher or more complex requirements than your first choice, because if you don't get into your first choice, odds are you wouldn't be able to get into an option that has higher or more complex requirements. So some examples of selections that are not advised. For example, first choice health science, second choice pure and applied science. Since these 2 programs have the exact same prerequisites and have the exact same level of competitiveness, it's not a good idea to make your application this way. Similarly, a first choice option of general social science with a second choice of commerce requires secondary 5 scientific math, whereas general social science does not. So odds are, if this applicant were to be refused from social science, they would not be admitted into commerce because of that prerequisite. Don't apply for a 3-year technical program as a second choice. These programs, like nursing, mechanical engineering technology, and many others, don't want to be your second choice. The number of places are restricted, so they want to make sure that the students they accept really want to be there. Next, we'll take a look at a few examples. If you're thinking of applying to a 3-year technical program in the arts, such as 3D animation, professional photography, or illustration, you will need to choose a single program above all the rest. It's against recommendation to apply to 2 professional programs because, as explained earlier, there is not enough time for the admissions department to review 2 sets of portfolios or conduct separate drawing tests for each option. Instead, we recommend that you select studio arts as a second choice arts program, since there is no portfolio required for that program. Looking at pre-university science programs now, as explained earlier, students are cautioned not to apply to 2 science programs, since all science programs have the same requirements and same level of competition. Selecting a 3-year technical program like mechanical engineering technology as a second choice is also not advisable because the 3-year technology programs have restricted spaces and may be full by the time admissions considers your second choice. So instead, we recommend applying to commerce or social science with math. This allows students to begin CEGEP level math courses like calculus, which they can use if they wish to reapply to science in the following semester. Importantly, starting your CEGEP studies in an alternative program and then switching to your intended program is becoming more commonplace now that admission standards are so high. Completing a full semester in an alternate program is advantageous because it allows you to complete general education courses like English and Humanities that can then be transferred to your intended program with the additional benefit of an opportunity to elevate your overall academic profile and increase your chances of being accepted into your intended program. More on this in the admissions decisions video. Here is a health technology example. If your first choice is something like nursing or biomedical lab technology, you will want to apply to a general social science, arts and literature and communications or similar program as a second choice. Other 3-year technical programs and 2-year pre-university programs are very competitive and will not have many spaces available after first choices are considered at Dawson. As with science applications, it is possible to be admitted to an alternative program and start following general education courses. However, most 3-year programs only accept applications once per year. See a guidance counselor if you would like more information on this. Now, on to social and community technologies. Again, if such a program is your first choice, your second choice should be general social science, arts, literature, communication, or similar programs. The point here is to do very well in your general education courses and in social science or ELC, whatever your interest may be, so that you can demonstrate high grades and become more admissible to your intended program. Please note again, many 3-year programs admit on a yearly basis, so a program transfer would only be possible after your second semester. You'd want to check with your college's advising department just to be sure of all this while you're a student. Many CEGEPs have different profiles or majors in social science. This means that between 3 and 5 mandatory social science courses have a general theme or topic. Having a major or profile does not make you more admissible to university studies in that subject. In fact, all social science programs render students eligible to study a variety of programs in university. So choose a major or profile according to your interest only, and please note that these are smaller groups, which means that they are more competitive than general social science. Therefore, general social science, arts, literature, communication, or communications are good second choice options. If your first choice is commerce, it's not advisable to apply to a 3-year business administration program as a second choice for the same reasons mentioned earlier. Instead, it's recommended to apply to general social science, arts, literature, communication, or communications, whatever interests and motivates you enough to get the results needed for an acceptance to your eventual transfer request. Lastly, if you're applying for accounting and management technology or other business 3-year technical programs, be sure to apply to a program that allows you to perform well in general education courses, as well as the program courses that can then be counted as complementary or elective courses once you change programs, such as general social, ALC, communications, and similar programs. So this has been an overview of recommended application strategies. For more information on this topic, please contact your guidance counselor.